So I just got back from watching Justice League. Highly anticipated coming together movie of a lot of DC's most popular superheroes to take on a threat to Earth. As you can see, I didn't even put on my usual shirt. I did grab a coffee. I really just want to get this video over with. I have a lot to say about Justice League, and I'm really late to the party. If anyone watched my last video, which should have came out on Friday but didn't, came out a few days ago, me and my family have had a rough couple weeks. So I was delayed in seeing Justice League, which I was scared to see it anyway because the reviews have been bad. People basically said it's fun, but it's shit. So I finally got to experience it for myself. So real quick, this is Too Many Movies at the Movies with me, Just Joe, and I just want to get into it. So play the thing. Okay, I just want to get right the frick into it. Let's start with the plot / the script. Okay, the plot of Justice League is really the Avengers, and that bothered me at first when I saw the first few trailers for Justice League earlier this year, or whenever they came out. Feels like forever ago. But I kind of understand they didn't really have a choice. They had to bring everybody together, but honestly, they didn't need Bruce Wayne going to unite everybody. I mean, at least they got Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, who they still don't call Wonder Woman. Sorry. At least he gets her to help. You know, she's the one who talks to Cyborg, even though nobody calls him Cyborg. I don't think anyone called Flash Flash. At least they did call Aquaman Aquaman. So, what? Let's see, Batman's Batman, Superman's Superman, Aquaman's Aquaman. 3 out of 6 ain't bad. That's 50%. That's about what this is on Rotten Tomatoes, so good job! Anyway, the opening scene with Batman fighting a criminal, that was cool. Until some weird creature just shows up. This was a piss poor. This is a scene that was reshot. I know Joss Whedon came in and wrote a lot of stuff, and I love Joss Whedon. He's very talented. But if this was one of the reshoots that he did, because the movie opened with some weird thing with Superman with a kid talking to him through his phone. Not a bad idea. Like, it looked like it was shot on a phone, but it was obvious he had the mustache. Reshoots! And his mouth was all fucked up. So that was distracting. I don't even remember what he said. I don't remember the conversation because it was weird. Just a weird mouth thing. Just fucking weird, man. But anyway, that opening scene with Batman, I love that. I loved how it looked. And he's just fighting some random guy, but then an alien shows up and distracts him. Okay, that's fine. But what I didn't like is that the frickin' thief, like, knew. He's like, oh my god, that's like an alien from space, right? Are we being invaded? What the fuck? Do these people know how to write a script? Know how to write dialogue? There was 40,000 other ways you could have written this. The thief should have just been comic relief while Bruce was figuring it out. This isn't hard. It's screenwriting 101. And that's how we're introduced that there's some kind of threat coming. Great way to start the movie. And then we see Wonder Woman, and that was awesome. Even though she's not Wonder Woman. But we see her foil some kind of robbery. It was cool to see her do that. And then Bruce has to go around and he finds the Aquaman. That scene was fine. I just like now that, like, everybody in the world knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. It's like everyone knows Clark Kent is Superman. I don't know, it's not really explained. But it showed Lois, and I will say this for the movie. It was the first time in, I guess 4 movies, but 3 movies with the Superman characters, the first frickin' time that I actually very much enjoyed the Superman characters. I loved Lois in this. I loved her and Clark together. I loved Superman's mom, which I always liked her in the other movies, but for the first time ever, I thought the Superman cast kind of stole the show with their scenes. Those are some of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, and I didn't really like Man of Steel, and I really hated the Superman stuff in Batman v Superman. But regardless, the plot, I keep getting off track, kind of like the movie does, really. It doesn't really stay on a track. It's real, just all over the place. But Bruce has to try to find all these heroes. They were shown in Batman v Superman, and he has to unite them all, which will eventually form the Justice League to fight this Steppenwolf, whatever, a freaking villain that, okay, I'll get to that later, but a villain who's coming to Earth to take over Earth. Yeah, that's something new. And there are these 3 mother boxes. If he unites them, they create this thing, and he gets powerful, and yeah, great. But the twist along the way, they need to try to bring Superman back, who is dead. I don't understand at the end of Batman v Superman why the little dust rose from his coffin. You know, it's not a spoiler. We all know Superman's coming back. We know Henry Cavill is in the damn movie. He's Superman. He comes back. The Justice League is formed, but I don't get that ending in Batman v Superman now because he didn't come back of his own fruition. He had help, and it was cool, but eh. But that's the plot. The Justice League comes together. They fight this evil. There you go. The script. Oh, that script. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably the worst script out of all 4 movies. I think it's even worse than Suicide Squad. I really do, because at least the tone in Suicide Squad, I know they changed it, but it did kind of feel right. It matched for the majority of the movie. I do need to watch it again. But, and here's the thing, here's my history with these movies. Man of Steel, I think, is an average, okay movie. Batman v Superman, the theatrical cut, is complete garbage. The extended cut, the 3-hour version, I actually really enjoyed. It's a mess, but it's a good kind of mess. Suicide Squad, again, is a lot of fun, but it's a piece of shit. But I think Suicide Squad is better than this. I am disappointed to all hell with Justice League. I was entertained by it. I was very entertained by it. But honestly, if I had the choice, I would take back the 2 hours I spent on this movie. That's how I feel about it. And it really all comes down to the script. And I know that this was plagued with reshoots and a lot of crap. And Zack Snyder, unfortunately, he had a tragedy in his personal life. Joss Whedon came in and directed the reshoots. And Henry Cavill's mustache. And, you know, Ben Affleck not really giving a shit anymore. It's a lot of turmoil and a lot of reshoots, a lot of rewrites, and it shows. I couldn't believe that this was a little bit under 2 hours. 2 hours? This should have easily been 2.5 hours. This could have been 3 hours. And you would think they would have learned from their mistake, because if they just would have released the extended version of Batman v Superman, there wouldn't have been as much fallout. The critical response, I think, would have been better, and it probably would have hit $1 billion. People would have bitched that it was too long, but at least you got the full thing. We didn't get the full thing. It's obvious that there is so much cut out of this movie. The script is dog shit. The humor doesn't really match that much. Maybe a couple jokes fit and made me laugh. They gave Batman a joke that was awful. Superman pushes him off, and then Batman rolls over and goes, "Oh, I'm definitely bleeding. Oh, I'm definitely bleeding." That's not Batman. It's not. The joke earlier when he's Bruce Wayne and he says, "I'm rich." That was funny, and that fit, and that's what sucks. The majority of the best jokes were in the freaking trailers. The rest of them are not very good. The comic relief in this is the Flash, and he works well, and the majority of his comedy is good. Anybody else's, it doesn't fit, and it sucks. The script is so convoluted, it's a mess. None of the characters are really fleshed out that well. You have to have seen Batman v Superman at least in order to see Justice League. They didn't take the time to introduce the characters we even knew. Even with clever filmmaking tactics, they didn't do it. It was lazy. It's like, well, you should have seen Batman v Superman. No, because most people were hoping that Justice League was gonna freaking save it. I forgot about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was awesome. Still my favorite. I forgot about that one. Just see Wonder Woman. Don't care about the rest. Just go freaking see Wonder Woman. But the script, okay, the script, I'm just gonna keep going in circles, but the script is atrocious. It's terrible, and I include even the reshoots. I know online people are talking about they want the original Zack Snyder cut. Honestly, I do too if there is one. Apparently it's longer, and it's gotta be better than this. It has to be. I guess it could be worse, but there's so much that was left out. But even that, the script, it just, the tone, there's no decisive tone in this movie. The villain is barely even, it's shown a quick backstory, but this film series didn't earn a villain like Steppenwolf. He should have been like a Thanos. And I understand they don't want to be Marvel. I get that. And they shouldn't. But this should not have been the threat. It should have been something else. The script sucks. All right, next up I talk about the cast / the characters. Okay, the cast in this, the kid who played Flash was the breakout. He was the comic relief, he was funny, he was good, he gave a shit. The guy who played Aquaman, the Momoa guy, awesome. He made Aquaman awesome, even though Aquaman doesn't really have a lot to do in this. Still, good stuff. Gal Gadot, once again, as Wonder Woman, awesome. And I love Ben Affleck as Batman and Bruce Wayne. But it did kind of seem like he was just not all there. Like, he really doesn't give a shit anymore. He's just been through the ringer with this. I don't blame him. But it seemed like maybe a lot of it was reshoots, but there was just no emotion, no nothing. I didn't feel that passion he had in Batman v Superman. He did fine. It was passable, but that's the problem. It's passable, and I don't want passable, because I really like Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne and Batman. But if he really doesn't give a shit, he needs to get out. But who am I leaving out? The kid who played Cyborg, even though he's mainly like CG, you know, he was good. I enjoyed the Superman cast. Whoever voiced Steppenwolf, I didn't like the voice at all. They did fine. I didn't like it. And I guess I'll go ahead and say with the CGI, it sucks. It really sucks. Steppenwolf does look like he's from a PS2 game. It sucks. The movie is a large portion of it is CGI, and it sucks. It looks unfinished. Can you try to steal some people from Marvel? Because even like Guardians of the Galaxy, where the majority of it is CG, it looks fantastic. You guys need to start focusing on one thing to do well, because you're not doing the majority of it well. Just pick one. Just pick one. Even if it's CG. But the CG sucks. Yeah, but the cast, I mean, Jeremy Irons, I enjoy him as Alfred, that's great. I wanted so much more of J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. I know we'll get more in the Batman standalone movie if we get it. And that's really all I want. I just want Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne Batman. Just one Batman movie. Just give me one. That's all I want. I just want one standalone Batman movie, and then you can ride off into the sunset. Even in this movie, it was talked about, you know, Batman can't do this forever. I'm cool with that. And they can do some kind of twist and bring in a Robin or Nightwing or Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, or Batman's dad or something from an alternate universe. Something. Start thinking outside of the box. I don't mean the mother boxes. I mean just please do it. But, you know, the cast was fine. You know, again, like I said, certain people did better than others, but a large part of it was just kind of average. Yeah, I don't think there's the characters. This is definitely the best version of Superman. I forgot to bring up Henry Cavill. He blew me away in this. I loved him as Superman in this. To me, he finally became Superman. I saw Superman in this movie. Finally. I saw him in this. It was awesome. And the rest, I've already kind of talked about it. I enjoy the Justice League. It was fun seeing them together. I loved it. The six of them together, it was great to see them fighting. That was the fun part of the movie for me. That's when I got really interested, but unfortunately that's towards the end of the freaking movie. It takes a lot to get there. It really does. But I can't really think of, you know, the cast was kind of average. Certain people stood out. Gal Gadot, of course. Kid who played the Flash. I enjoyed Aquaman. Kid who played Cyborg. I guess a lot more than just a few. You know, Henry Cavill, Superman. I'm looking forward to a Superman sequel now. I want another Superman movie, just not by Zack Snyder, because I think it could kick ass with this new Superman. He's been resurrected. Once again, he is Jesus Christ. And, you know, and I want my Batman standalone movie. There's a bright future here. It should have started with Justice League, and it didn't because it fucking sucks! Last and definitely least, directing, editing, music. Okay, look, I really have no beef with Zack Snyder as a director. I'm getting sick and tired of the sepia tone, dark shit in these movies. Maybe that's why Wonder Woman just looks so damn good, because it was colorful, but even when they reached World War I, it was a contrast when it kind of went to that sepia tone, but it looked like World War I. It fit. But then when it got to modern day, it was bright again. Gotham should be dark. Why Metropolis is dark, I will never know. And I still have no issue with Metropolis being across the street from Gotham. I think that's pretty damn cool. I like that. I think Zack Snyder is a very talented director. I don't think he's very good directing dialogue. I don't think he's very good at directing actors. I think he's lazy about it. I don't think he thinks that it's important to get the dialogue right, to get the emotion right. And I think he mainly leaves it up to the actors. And it's just that you can't do that. That's why you're a director. You have to direct them. And oh god. Look, I really have no beef with Zack. I have a beef with him as a writer. I don't think he's a good writer at all. And all of this just feels rushed. The direction in this is average. And that's kind of how Zack Snyder is. He kind of just stays in the middle, and he doesn't really bring anything new to the table. The direction is just, it's average. The editing, I'm not going to blame the editor or editors for this movie. I'm sure they were pulling their hair out. I'm sure they were bald by the end of this movie, editing it, because I'm sure they took out so much, and it's rushed. And even though it is 2 hours, it feels longer. It really does. It felt like 2.5 hours. Might as well make it 2.5 hours. So much was left on the cutting room floor. They're gonna have to do an extended version of this. At least I hope, to try to save it. The better versions are always gonna come out on the Blu-ray. They've done it for all of them except for Wonder Woman and Man of Steel, the two best ones, which is sad. You know, 2 out of what now? 5? Or 2 out of, yeah, 5, whatever. It's just, but the editing, I don't blame the editor for this. I can't get on them for that. But the editing was fine, but it was obviously just, everything was rushed and pieced together quick. It just, once again, average. And the music, honestly, was absolutely nothing special. The best theme was, they have no imagination when it comes to the music. I know that the John Williams theme was in it. I didn't hear it for Superman, and I was looking forward to it. I didn't notice it, but maybe I was too distracted by being pissed off. Yeah, the music, again, is average. Bring something. They didn't even, the stuff in the trailer, the cool music they had, they saved it for the end credits. Even when the Justice League got together, they didn't even play the fucking song. The Come Together song. What the fuck? Seriously? You save it for the end credits, you fucking idiots. Even coffee can't wash the bitter taste out of my mouth. My final thoughts, I'm gonna put this down. My final thoughts on Justice League. Driving home, and I went to the local theater. I didn't pay to see it in IMAX. I was not gonna spend double the frickin' ticket price to see this god-awful piece of shit. I spent $6 at the local theater, and thank God I did, but I want that $6 back. I want that 2 hours back. I really am pissed off, and I'm more not pissed at the movie, I'm just pissed at DC. I'm pissed at Warner Brothers. I'm pissed that they can't get this right. It's not that fucking hard. I love DC. I was never a Marvel fan. If you want to, basically I was kind of a DC fanboy, mainly because of Batman. But I loved Wonder Woman. I don't really like Superman, but I was wanting good Superman movies. You know, The Flash I like, Cyborg, he's cool. I look forward to Green Lantern. I like the DC universe. This is not that freaking difficult. But Zack Snyder, your writers, Joss, you couldn't even save it. You're not getting it. Give it to Patty Jenkins. Minus the ending and Ares and Wonder Woman, that movie, I gave a 5 out of frickin' 5, and I still give it a 5 out of 5. That movie was fantastic. Yeah, some of the CG wasn't as good as Marvel, but who gives a shit? The movie itself was solid. Hell, Man of Steel was a masterpiece compared to Justice League. Batman v Superman the extended cut, I much prefer that. I honestly want to watch that tonight to try to wash the bitter taste out of my mouth of Justice League. This should have been really the start of something where they finally were a rival, because Black Panther comes out soon, and then right after that, today, the Avengers Infinity War trailer dropped, and it looks amazing. But you know why it looks amazing, DC? Because they've built it up for 10 years. They've earned it. They've earned this movie. They've earned something like Thanos. You didn't. You've tried to rush everything with the scripts and certain casting decisions and just trying to be so different, not as colorful as Marvel. So you make it that freaking sepia tone and all that shit, and I'm tired of it. I was bored throughout the majority of the movie. The dialogue is just not interesting. The characters are barely explained. They're not that interesting. I like them because I know them. But you also have to write a script and make a movie for the casual moviegoer. You're trying to make new fans, not just please the comic book fans, yet you're not pleasing them. Because you obviously don't care. You think whatever you throw out there in the cinema is just gonna stick. And it's not. Get a fucking clue. This is not that hard. Writing a script is not easy. Making a movie is not easy. You're gonna stumble, you're gonna make mistakes. Marvel has several times, but you gotta get the majority of it right. You're always gonna have naysayers. You're always gonna have people criticizing when you make changes. But for the love of Christ, the changes have to make sense. Stop fucking around, hire new writers, new directors, let Patty Jenkins not just direct Wonder Woman movies, let her come in on the second Justice League, or maybe the next Superman. Let her do the next Superman movie. And Matt Reeves, who did like the Planet of the Apes series, the new one, he's in charge of the Batman standalone movie. He will do fantastic. He's amazing. I hope he stays on board because they can't keep anybody. And I thought Ben Affleck would have done a great job with that. But I'm sick of this. I knew that this movie was a god-awful piece of shit, but it was entertaining. Yeah, it was entertaining, but honestly, I was more entertained by Suicide Squad. I hated it, but I couldn't bring myself to get angry about it, because I had a good time. But you know what? That didn't work this time. You can't just keep hoping that's gonna be the case. This movie should have been longer, it should have had a lot more to it, the script could have been so much better. You're trying to rush everything, and honestly, it's finally caught up with you. It's not working. It never worked, but it's definitely not working now. Justice League disappointed the hell out of me. It really did. I regret seeing it, especially after something as wonderful as Wonder Woman. And you don't even call her Wonder Woman in this. You don't call the Flash, You don't call Cyborg, Cyborg. You can't even get the little things like that right. So if you can't get that right, how are you going to get something as big as Steppenwolf coming to the world to take it over, destroy it, whatever, and fight the Justice League? You can't get a story right, you can't get the characters right, you can't get anything right. As a filmmaker myself, it disgusts me because I feel like I could do better, and I couldn't, but you're making me feel like I could. And like I said, I really have no beef with Zack Snyder. I think the dude's talented, but he's got to go. I'm sorry. Something needs to change, because eventually I know Justice League is not making the money that they thought it was going to make. It may not even make as much as Batman v Superman. It's not, and it doesn't deserve it. It really doesn't. There better be an extended version of this so you can get some of your money back and win your fans back, me back, with the Blu-ray release of the extended version. And you better be fucking working on it right now. Put in the shit, do a Zack Snyder cut, whatever. Make it better. Fix it once again on the Blu-ray. But from now on, get it right before it hits the cinema. And if you need to delay it, then delay it. This is not as hard as you're making it out to be, DC, Warner Brothers, whatever. Get a clue. There are plenty of fantastic writers, directors, filmmakers out there who are dying, salivating to make a Batman movie or a Green Lantern movie or a Cyborg movie or a Flash movie, and they could make it to where you'd get 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. That good. But you gotta find them. So yeah, I didn't like it. I don't recommend it. Justice League, I'm giving a Just Joe rating of 2 out of 5.
Boo, you suck.
So thank you very much for tuning in to Tuning Movies at the Movies with me, Just Joe. Thank Christ that there are 2 movies left in the year that I've been waiting for. The biggest one, of course, is Star Wars The Last Jedi. I've got my tickets for the Thursday 9 o'clock showing. I'm going with a buddy of mine. I don't see that being a Justice League. I'm gonna start saying that. I don't see it being a piece of Justice League instead of piece of shit, because I'm clever. So I'm excited for that, but also this weekend, and unfortunately I have to work at my night job, so I won't be able to see it until next week, but The Disaster Artist that I've been waiting for since last year is going to be released in theaters. And Monday, this coming Monday, I will be going to see it. Fuck yeah, I will be going to see it. I'm gonna go see the shit out of it. And I'm sure it'll be a 5 out of 5, but we'll see. So at least I have, at the very least, 2 movies left this year to make up for the almost 2 hours of non-joy that I experienced with Justice League. But all the links in the description below to all my shit. Subscribe to this channel, Apartment B1 Productions, if you want. If you don't, then don't. I'm not, and it's funny, like, I'm not playing to the camera. I really am this pissed off. I'm tired of this. Bad movies happen. I've made bad movies. They happen. But I'm a little filmmaker from Indiana. These are people that are paid millions of dollars and have had multiple movies to get it right, and they can't. When it's been proven that even if you make a mess of a movie, you can still make a good movie. Yet they can't get it. It's so much turmoil, so much drama with these movies. I'm tired of it. And it's screwing over the fans. It's screwing over moviegoers. Justice League should have been awesome. I mean awesome. It had every chance, and they blew it big time. But in a couple days, maybe a day, whenever I get this video put together, it was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. Every Friday, I watch a new movie for my collection, and starting this coming Friday, it's December 1st, which means the beginning of Christmas, and I will actually have 5 movies I will watch. 4 in a row will be Christmas related, then the last one will be New Year's Eve, New Year's Day related. So I will have 5 in December to close out 2017, and I have enjoyed doing this. I don't care if anyone watches it, this has been a blast. So look forward to that this coming Friday. I'll have my first one for the Christmas season, and I'll have a few more Tuning Movies at the Movies this year. Those 2 should be damn good, so I should be a lot happier. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Do not go see Justice League. It fucking sucks!
Quiet on the set.